King Leopold II in the Congolese Genocide. In the year 1865, Belgium's leader, King Leopold I, died, and his son assumes the throne as King Leopold II. He sounds like a promising leader, vowing to leave Belgium larger, stronger, and more beautiful. For about the next 20 years, Leopold lobbied to Parliament to set up a Belgian colony in a time when all of Europe was staking foreign claims. This was especially relevant to Belgium because it encompassed such a small territory in Europe. Eventually, he gives up and decides to start his own private colony in Central Africa. British explorer and journalist Henry Morton Stanley was crossing Africa at the time, exploring the mighty Congo River. Upon his return, King Leopold called him to Belgium. Leopold sent Stanley back to the Congo as his agent to build outposts around the river's rapids. The Congo was a perfect place to colonize because of its abundance of rubber vines and ivory, two valuable commodities at the time. King Leopold assigned Stanley with the task of obtaining as much land and power as possible from the naive tribal leaders, giving them gifts and showing their military force in return. As Leopold pushed for the world to recognize his new claim, 14 countries are called to the Conference of Berlin to carve out Africa into colonies. Leopold ends up with 2.3 million square kilometers on the south bank of the Congo River, and it is named the Congo Free State, with Leopold as proprietor, making it the only colony in the world owned by a single man. He split the territory in two. 1/3 of the land for permitted companies to use, and 2/3 of the area was considered Leopold's own private land. King Leopold portrayed his efforts as philanthropy to other nations. Meanwhile, he was exploiting the Congolese people, forcing them to build the colony's infrastructure and transport goods. He also required the Congolese to pay taxes and let any company lease land rights in the Congo for 50% of their profits, giving him a massive fortune, but leading to the deaths of possibly 10 million natives. The people in the king's personal territory were forced into a type of slavery, 10% of the population for full-time labor, 25% part-time, and were required to meet a quota of ivory and rubber. Men had to work 25 days or more per month on average to reach their quota, and chiefs imprisoned the wives and children of men who could not pay their rubber tax. Also, those who could not meet their work quota were tortured, beat, or even killed by an army of 19,000 Congolese soldiers recruited by Leopold. Eventually, Leopold's abuses are discovered when a British shipping clerk sees the abuse firsthand and makes an effort to raise public awareness. In response, the British government sends agents to investigate the conditions and decides to call for international action, and the Congo Reform Association is formed. Leopold's territory is forced under the control of the state and is renamed the Belgian Congo. By this time, the population of the territory has been mutilated from 20 to 30 million to only 9 million. What King Leopold did is largely considered genocide. American author Booker T. Washington wrote in an article about the abuses in the Congo. There was never anything in American slavery that could be compared to the barbarous conditions existing today in the Congo Free State. To this day, the area has still not completely recovered from this devastation. In 1960, the country claimed independence under the name the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Presently, political instability, corruption, and a raging civil war plagues the country, and some estimate that 45,000 continue to die each month. While King Leopold's genocide in the Congo may have occurred over 100 years ago, its effects are still felt by the country and the world. We still may have a long time to wait before the Congo gains any ounce of political or social stability.